The house greeted me with an unsettling quiet. No lights glowed. The kitchen stood untouched. The comforting scent of her beloved lavender candle was nowhere to be found. On the living room table, a note in her meticulous handwriting waited. Don't look for me. I need to be free. My heart didn't race. My hands stayed steady. I stood there, eyes locked on her words, realizing a part of me had already let go long ago. For months, maybe a year, we had been drifting apart. Our talks had shrunk to shallow exchanges. The laughter that once filled our home had faded, replaced by a silence that stretched too long to endure. I had told myself it was just a phase, that we were merely tired or distracted, but her note laid bare the truth. This wasn't a spur of a moment choice for her. It had been brewing in her mind, unvoiced. I didn't grab my phone to call or message her. I didn't reach out to her, friends or kin. I refused to become the man begging for someone whose heart had already left. Instead, I walked to my study, turned on my computer, and began the steps to file for divorce. The next day, I secured our joint accounts, replaced the locks on the doors, and reached out to my lawyer to draft the paperwork. He asked if I was sure. I said she made her choice. I'm just following through. Those around me were shocked by my calm. Some called me cold. Others assumed I was hiding a breakdown. But the truth was, I had already grieved our marriage long before she left. I had mourned the woman I once loved, the one who laughed at my terrible jokes and danced with me in the kitchen by moonlight. I often thought back to the happy times, but they felt like scenes from someone else's life. I remembered our honeymoon, our first home, the night we stayed up naming children we never brought into the world. Those memories flooded over me, but they didn't break me. They reminded me I had loved fiercely and lost, and that was enough. A week later, her name lit up my phone. I let it ring. She left a voicemail, her voice wavering. She said she needed a break, not an ending, that the note was meant to pause things, not sever them. But you don't tell someone not to follow if you want to be found. I listened to her message twice, then deleted it. She wanted freedom, and I gave it to her, without the weight of a waiting husband. When the divorce papers reached her, she delayed signing them. She called again, her tone now edged with frustration. She accused me of being aloof, heartless, unkind. I replied, I'm respecting your wishes. Silence hung between us, then a click as she hung up. 2 weeks later, she signed the papers, seeing her signature next to mine brought a strange peace. Not happiness, not grief, but closure. A door gently shutting, not slamming. Friends soon encouraged me to date again, but I wasn't ready. Not from heartbreak, but because I was rediscovering who I was. I was learning what I loved, what I needed, and what I would no longer accept. Months later, I ran into her in a bookstore. She looked different, more tired, less sure. We exchanged courteous words. Us. She asked if I ever missed her. I said, I miss who we were, not who we became. She nodded, her eyes shining with unshed tears, and said goodbye. I walked away, that day without a hint of regret. Sometimes love doesn't end in a blaze of pain. Sometimes it just fades until silence speaks louder than words. And when someone leaves a note asking for freedom, the greatest gift you can give is to grant it completely.